Hello virtual dreamers, Gregory here, and welcome to the Prologue, a weekly series of videos where I document my activities, track my stats, and complete quests, all for the sake of creating my dream virtual reality rig. We're going to try to keep things nice and snappy now since I'm back in school and I want to try to speed things along a little bit more quickly with these videos going forward. So then everyone, just to get right into the swing of things, the quest for the week of September 2nd to September 8th, Unreal Arduino is failed. I'll be blunt here, everyone. This is a case of overestimating things on two fronts. One, overestimating the complexity of actually establishing a connection between the Arduino and Unreal. There are quite a few things in Arduino itself that enable this via serial interfacing. In addition, there is a plugin developed on GitHub called UE4Duino that basically establishes a connection right away, so it really doesn't require that much work to genuinely establish a connection between an Arduino and Unreal Engine. So essentially, all I really need to do is just connect things up and establish that. But in the process of making things work, I felt that I came across way too many different areas where I just didn't understand the terminology being used for Arduino. I followed a few of the instructional projects that come along with the Arduino, but I don't think that I've gained as deep an understanding of the device as I really think I should have for this kind of project going forward. As such, despite the fact that I think I could easily set things up entirely just following the instructions on UE4Duino's page and maybe a few video tutorials, I think that I want to get a more in-depth knowledge on the matter before I proceed forward. As such, for the time being, the quest will have to be placed and labeled as failed. I don't really like to fail, everyone. I can't imagine anyone does, but the more you fail and the faster you do so, the faster you can get on to learning what to do right going forward. So let's just keep trucking along then. The quest for the week of September 9th through to September 15th will be illustration of the near future. I must illustrate and clearly label the segment of my virtual reality rig that I will be constructing within this year. I'll be honest, I've kind of done a good amount of work in this thing in the past, but I think that it's about time that I start genuinely illustrating and placing things down now that I have an idea of what kind of materials I might be working with. We aren't exactly going for the final end of the end 2022 VR rig here, because in all honesty, that rig is a very long ways away. 4 years may be short in a certain sense, but at the same time, there's still a lot of work that can be done inside of that time period. And with the amount of knowledge that I see that I still require, I already know that this is going to take 2 iterations. So this first build is going to be a very simple proof of concept, and the aspect of the rig that we're going to be building within this year is just a single leg. Anyhow, that's the general task for this quest, everyone. That just about does it for me, but you all had a quest to be completing as well. Your quest, the first day, asks that you share a story of your experiences beginning at some place new, whether that be school, work, a new country, as some of you actually demonstrated, or anything along those lines. Congratulations to PRNG Ryan, ZXRon, Anime, F Entertainment Studios, and William Morgan. Congratulations again to all of you for clearing the quest. Thank you very much for sharing your stories. Now then, everyone, the first clearer of the quest gets the choice of the character that I sketched for this week. Our first clearer for this week, PRNG Ryan, selected the character Santa from UQ Holder. As you can imagine, just by the fact that I have an entire line of Negima and its own shelf dedicated to it, I'm a pretty big fan of the Negima franchise, and I actually consider the original run of Negima to be my favorite manga of all time, period, bar none. So it's definitely going to be an easy way to get me to do a little bit more work if you just ask me to just do anything related to Negima or anything along that sort. So for the drawing for this week, I decided to add in a little bit more detail than just the head, and drew Santa just kind of having his arms behind his back and keeping his head in that position, as well as just kind of having his hair flowing out. I actually kind of felt like writing in the words L'Oreal because it's worth it, just because that kind of a long head of hair is just asking for it at this point in time. But yeah, it was a lot of fun drawing Santa. I don't really draw characters with his particular demeanor all that often, with the kind of like saggy, baggy, dark eyes kind of a thing, even though I kind of know what that looks like a lot more now that sleep becomes a much more negotiable matter as you get older. But I hope that you liked the sketch, PRNG Ryan. It was a lot of fun for me to do, especially since it gave me an opportunity to work on that franchise that I just love so much. Well then, everyone, that just about does it for that quest, but it's time to give you guys your next quest for the coming week. VR expectations. Post down in the comment section below what your expectations for what the standard of virtual reality will be within the next 10 years. Because let's all be honest, I have a feeling that $10,000+ virtual reality rigs like what I'm expecting to have done by 2022 aren't very likely to be the standard that most people are going to be working with. Just like how right now, most people that experience VR, unfortunately, tend to do so via the use of smartphones and or Oculus Go - lighter, weaker, cheaper devices, as is compared to the more expensive and powerful PC-based Oculus Rift, Vive, and so on. As per usual, everyone, the first 10 clears get a shout out in the next video, as well as the first clear getting the choice of the next character that I sketch. Well then, everyone, that just about does it for this week. Till next time, my fellow adventurers and dreamers, this has been Gregory, logging out.